High school athletes suddenly collapsing and dying on the court or on the field. It has happened dozens of times here in Michigan during the last decade.
So why doesn't our state require students to use a tool that could save your child's life?
Action News investigator Heather Catallo has more on this story.
The game-winning shot quickly turned into tragedy.
Now we get 911 emergency.
Leader Hazel, Fenville High School. We have a player on the floor.
Basketball player down, not responsive, Fenville High School.
In March, 16-year-old Wes Leonard, star of the Fenville High School basketball team, collapsed on the court and later died. Doctors said the high school junior died from cardiac arrest due to an enlarged heart. According to the American Heart Association, the vast majority of sudden deaths in young athletes are due to severe heart deformities that have been present since birth, but usually go undetected.
Miss her every day, and I think about her every day. It left a big hole in our family.
Randy Galleri knows all too well the pain of losing a child to cardiac arrest. His 15-year-old daughter, Kimberly, died during a water polo match at Groves High School.
We basically lost her on the pool deck.
Galleri believes high school athletes need more screening to detect heart defects, and he's helped push the Michigan High School Athletic Association, or MHSAA, to adopt new, more detailed guidelines for student physicals. Since 1999, 47 students in Michigan have died from cardiac arrest.
If we would have had more effective screening, a substantial number of those kids could have been saved.
The MHSAA is a nonprofit organization that runs postseason tournaments for sports at more than 1,500 Michigan high schools and middle schools. When it comes to pre-screening athletes, the only requirement that the MHSAA has is that students must have a yearly physical. The physical can be done by a doctor, nurse practitioner, or physician's assistant, and there is no standardized medical history form that all students must use. For decades, the MHSAA offered this simple two-sided card for physicals that doctors now call outdated. It asks about things like polio and scarlet fever, no detailed questions about heart problems or family medical history. So after more than a year of meetings with health professionals, the MHSAA just created this new, more specific medical history form. It asks about chest pain, irregular heartbeats, fainting, and high cholesterol. Doctors say the dozens of new questions are great, but using this form is still just optional. 15-year-old Rebecca Krause says many of her family members have had heart attacks. So when she needed her physical to join the track and field team for Chippewa Valley High School, Rebecca's doctor sent her for additional heart screening.
How things going?
Good.
Good.
Rebecca says using the more detailed medical history form would give her and her mom peace of mind.
It's a smarter decision to ask more questions and be aware of what your body limits are, and be able to do the things you love without worrying about, oh, am I going to collapse on the field today?
Your heart looks gorgeous. Your echocardiogram was normal, and your EKG was normal.
St. John pediatrician Dr. Marcus DeGraw says the MHSAA should make the new physical forms with additional heart health questions mandatory.
Having everybody do the exact same questions with the exact same focus during the physical exam would allow you to catch a lot of these kids earlier.
Is this organization doing enough to keep student athletes safe?
There's only so much that you can do with a staff of 24 people here in Lansing. It's the schools that make the rules, schools that adopt the rules, and schools that take care of the day-to-day activities.
MHSAA spokesman John Johnson says districts barely have enough money to keep sports programs going. That's why they don't want to burden the schools by dictating what kind of physicals students should have.
So it's basically whatever a doctor will sign off on and whatever a parent will allow their doctor to sign off on for their kid, and then the school to accept that.
I have a huge concern that it's optional. I think it should be mandatory. And I think in a lot of states you'll see it will become mandatory.
Dr. Stephen Almany is the chief of cardiology at Beaumont Hospital. While there is no one test that can catch every heart problem, Dr. Almany says other countries mandate EKGs and other tests for all athletes.
About 90% of the issues that might cause sudden death, we can probably pick up with an exam.
So who pays for the additional heart screening? The schools? Parents? Well, the debate about that continues. Randy Galleri says the answer is tragically simple.
How do you put a value on your son or daughter's life? You know, I would have paid anything to have our daughter back.
Doctors tell us that typically, if you don't have insurance, an EKG test can cost anywhere from $30 to $150, depending on where you get it done. If that test picks up a problem, your child may need the more expensive echocardiogram ultrasound of the heart, and that can run more than $400 or more. Even though the new MHSAA physical form that will soon be sent to schools isn't mandatory, if parents want an even more detailed questionnaire, you can download a 4-page physical form on the MHSAA website. We have a link to that on our website, WXYZ.com. I'm Heather Catallo, Channel 7 Action News.